So, Mercurity is part of the 55.com global markets ecosystem. This is what we're going to be talking about. So first, what is Mercurity? What is our mission? The global markets that we're servicing, the global circulation of assets, the professional operations network, the tokenization platforms, the Mercurity token itself, our onboarding process, and finally our roadmap. If these seem complicated now, I'll try to clear that up. So, what is Mercurity? Well, Mercurity is the world's first blockchain-based, verifiable asset tokenization platform. We're building a global network consisting of 4 major infrastructure components. A global transaction network, a global custodian network, a global compliance network, and lastly, a global operations network. And we'll touch on these soon. So utilizing smart contracts, periodic audits, real-time disclosure, licensed custodians, and compliance within the ecosystem, Mercurity provides comprehensive platform tokenization services. That's a mouthful. But this gives us frictionless transfer of assets via tokens. Worldwide, anytime, compliant, trusted, and trustless. So Mercurity will provide tokenization for 3 types of assets. 1, traditional financial products. And this will include securities, bonds, real estate, precious metals, foreign currencies. Number 2, tangible properties like artwork and merchandise. And number 3, intangible assets such as data, intellectual property, or in-game currencies, which is a burgeoning, hot market right now. So going back to our mission statement. Mercurity's mission is to become a trusted vehicle for all issuers and investments worldwide. Using blockchain technology and tokenomics, Mercurity aims to build a compliant, global, distributed asset tokenization network to allow asset holders to quickly tokenize their assets, promoting the free circulation of quality assets worldwide. So what does that mean for you, participant, an investor? These are global markets. As of the end of Q3 2018, the size of our target markets are as follows. With gold at $8 trillion, Forex, 96 trillion, the stock market at 78, real estate at 217 trillion, bonds with 247 trillion, and financial derivatives at $532 trillion worldwide. So we're becoming increasingly globalized. Quality assets are moving beyond geographical boundaries, and thousands of companies have been able to tap into foreign capital markets. So look at the current geopolitical climate, economic climate. The US, China, Russia, Canada, the UK, the EU. Economic policies and sanctions are prohibitively inefficient. And blockchain is providing us another solution, providing us agency over our assets. Agency and choice with our dollar, yen, yuan, mark, franc, euro. You get the picture. So investors have developed an increasingly global presence their portfolios are no longer restricted to geographical boundaries. Instead, through blockchain, focusing on the top performing assets from around the world, financial instruments, digital assets, and tangible property. And yet, despite the size of these markets, due to limitations in traditional financial ecosystems, these assets still face numerous obstacles to global circulation. So given these figures, gold, forex, real estate, bonds, derivatives, Mercurity, 55, and dollar require less than 1% market share for a complete market disruption and product viability. But for us to get that market share, we have to improve on existing systems. So how are we doing that? Through low transaction costs and high efficiency, transparency and trust, increased liquidity worldwide, and decentralization. So low transaction costs and high efficiency. There's too many middlemen that exist between you as a user and your transacting. So from global finance, broker-dealers, custodians, credit reporting agencies, credit rating agencies, underwriters, legal counsel. Actually, extracting assets means adding transaction costs for both issuers and investors. And so often the inefficiency in that added cost falls upon the user. Your bank or your exchange is not taking on that additional cost. So that falls to you. Within this ecosystem, these issues are alleviated. And we can talk about that a little bit in more depth. Secondly, transparency is creating trust. So traditionally, due to information disparity, lack of meaningful disclosure, and delayed updates, investors are often at a disadvantage when negotiating or making decisions about their various assets. So that means that investors, or you as investors, take on higher risks and greater unpredictability in the market, as well as inaccurate, untimely, or inefficient credit ratings of those vehicles, investment vehicles. So our system is completely tokenized, allowing for verification and security within the ecosystem. So given those things, we contend that this is leading to increased liquidity worldwide. As we discussed earlier, the difference in time zones can be problematic, as well as geography, currency, and language, making transacting assets globally highly inefficient. In addition to numerous middlemen, as well as days or sometimes months of processing time, cross-border limitations, and economic sanctions, the price of assets often do not accurately reflect the demand of a global investor pool. So Mercurity is addressing this directly only by allowing assets to be freely tradable at the global scale can they reflect the true supply and demand equilibrium with an optimal price discovery. With today's existing and segregated model, we're unable to meet that objective. And lastly, centralization. Obviously, this is a big concern throughout all of blockchain. Today, Wall Street utilizes a centralized matching algorithm to complete transactions. From paper and certified securities to digital and quantitative trading, none of these represent a fundamental change in the paradigm of asset circulation. But a token is freely tradable, cryptographically secured, and a digital representation of the underlying asset. It is a means by which any form or asset or value can be represented in the digital format. In the growing maturity of blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies, as well as blockchain-backed asset tokenization, brings circulation capabilities that provide a new way of tackling these challenges. So in this diagram, over on our right, we can see the workflow for this asset tokenization on the Mercurity platform. Beginning with an issuer. One second. Beginning with an... Okay, I can do this from here. Beginning with an issuer in the top left here, who is requesting to tokenize their assets. This kicks off the tokenization process with verifying their assets and custodianship of those assets. This is guaranteed through a trust company via proof of trust. And following this verification and the proof of trust, Mercurity begins the token issuance process. And once the tokens have been tokenized through Mercurity, they're sent back to the issuer's wallet for use on 55.com, within the ecosystem, or any of the other approved OTC or partners. Great. So as we touched on earlier, the infrastructure exists as follows: a global transaction network, a global custodianship network, a global compliance network, and a global operations network. And by combining these four components, Mercurity aims to provide fast, efficient, and compliant tokenization services worldwide. The Global Transaction Network for Liquidity. This is a network for bank and asset transfers supporting various fiat currencies. The network is expected to span over 200 countries and over 100 currencies across continents and major financial hubs. The custodianship network. So custodians play a critical role in the tokenization process by protecting the association between digital tokens and real-world assets. So all tokenized assets must be deposited and held by an appropriate licensed trust company that is subject to periodic disclosure. Which brings us to the compliance network for legal compliance. So Mercurity is building a set of global user and investor verification networks that cover all major jurisdictions in accordance with all local and regional laws and regulations. In addition, Mercurity is actively collaborating with governments and financial industry regulators to meet global anti-money laundering and counter-terrorist financing requirements. So this is also going along with the KYC AML process that you may be very familiar with, verifying that those that are allowed to invest and participate and tokenize their assets are allowed to do so within local and regional laws and regulations. So this is really the meat and potatoes. This is really where the magic is in Mercurity, the professional operations network. Mercurity's operations network helps resolve the issue of legal tokenization for each underlying asset and is comprised of the following platforms: DAO Stock, DAO Bond, DAO Commodity, DAO Real Estate, DAO Coin, DAO Gold, DAO Bitman, DAO Art, and DAO IP, which we'll go into more detail in momentarily. Depending on the underlying assets, Mercurity utilizes these different platforms for managing operations. For example, gold and silver are precious metals and require distinct professional services for their storage, transport, and protection. Apple or 10-cent stock are securities and require qualified broker-dealers to support their transfers. Whereas US dollars, euros, and other currencies require banks for their management and transfer. Or artwork and real property require specialized management companies for their protection and subsequent management. So, jumping right in. This is DAO Coin. And DAO Coin provides tokenization services for over 200 currencies worldwide. By connecting to Mercurity's global transaction network, DAO Coin helps users tokenize fiat currencies into tokens on a one-to-one basis quickly and efficiently. This allows users to quickly redeem tokens back into fiat currencies. And so DAO coin will be tradable, as we stated previously, on 55.com, as well as any number of approved partners, as well as certain OTC. So DAO stock, we talked about Apple, we talked about Tencent, we talked about the issue with purchasing stocks that are not able to be fragmented. This is how we can fragment them on a tokenized level. So DAO stock does that. DAO stock will provide the tokenization services for publicly listed and private company stock worldwide. And DAO stock will partner with broker-dealers on a worldwide basis to help stockholders quickly tokenize their stocks for tokens or redeem tokenized stock for the underlying stock. Tradable on 55.com, partners, as well as OTC. Moving forward, we're starting to get the pattern here. DAO Bond. DAO Bond provides tokenization services for treasury bills, government bonds, as well as corporate bonds. Tokenizing bonds for tokens or redeeming tokenized bonds back to the underlying asset. Moving more into the commodities that we talked about in 55.com. So DAO Gold will tokenize services for gold, silver, platinum, as well as other precious metals. This ensures quality, transactions, settlement, and delivery of precious metals that conform to industry standards. While at the same time, DAO Gold also works with precious metal service agencies around the world for not only the inspection, but also storage, transportation, insurance of precious metals, as well as other needs as they arise. DAO commodity, going back to your luxury brands, your Louis Vuitton, your Supreme. DAO commodity provides tokenization services for consumer goods, including limited edition sneakers, handbags, other high-quality merchandise. And so we operate this tokenization with a number of available currencies. And so as we move into $net, you'll see there's not only support for Ethereum or Bitcoin, EOS, ERC20 tokens, but also the limited one-of-a-kind 721 tokens as well. So DAO Bitman, this is one of the more interesting ones that certainly something that I've not seen with existing projects that have been viable and come to market, which provides tokenization services around the world for an individual. This includes celebrities, stars, educators, business persons, even individuals, allowing them to tokenize their existing and future value and issue personal tokens, which represents their time, labor, or fan services. Again, tradable on 55.com. DAO Real Estate, as we mentioned earlier. So this provides tokenization services for real estate, including private and commercial properties. We're seeing in New York the first residential real estate that was purchased with tokenized assets as well, using cryptocurrency to do the initial funding of the building through a company named the name escapes me now. Anyways, we're beginning to see the advent of this within the real estate market. And on 55.com, this would allow people to do that on an international level. So you could be owning tokens for a building that's going up in Gibraltar, in Spain, in China, in Korea, and this is a way to participate in that, or sell, or buy the tokens accordingly. DAO Art. This provides tokenization services for global artwork, working with artists, registration organizations, exhibition halls, storage facilities, and logistic companies to help owners of artworks quickly tokenize their artwork assets or redeem artwork tokens for the underlying artwork. DAO IP obviously is working with intellectual property, connecting creators and consumers of intellectual property, allowing the holders of that intellectual property to quickly tokenize those IP assets. This also allows consumers to use their IP tokens to gain access to or pay for the underlying IP. So this will bring us into the Mercurity token, or MERT. So a total of 10 billion MERT tokens will be created with no mechanisms for future inflation or increase. The Mercurity token is designed to be used and adopted by the community as a vehicle to incentivize asset tokenization and trading. So how does this Mercurity token function within the greater ecosystem? Well, holders of the Mercurity token are entitled to certain rights within the Mercurity ecosystem to incentivize the issuance, minting, redemption, and trading of tokenized assets, as well as the community itself. In addition to this, the Mercurity token will be used for voting and self-governance purposes within the community. So that includes a medium of exchange. The token will be used as the means of payment for various functionalities on the Mercurity ecosystem, including for the payment of services, fees for asset tokenization, redemption, listing of assets, compliance review, asset custodianship, and transfer of funds. Members can also receive Mercurity tokens as rewards, as a means to incentivize the community by completing certain tasks, such as promoting Mercurity or participating in various activities that we deem improves the Mercurity ecosystem. And lastly, community benefits. Holders of the Mercurity token are entitled to certain benefits within the community, including discounts for asset tokenization, priority testing of new features, as well as voting and self-governance. So moving close to wrapping up here, what does the onboarding process look like for those who want to tokenize their assets? Well, of course, there are compliance checks. Mercurity will ensure that you're operating within the existing laws and regulations of the network, of the region where you're coming from, and based off that review, there's a verification of the assets that you're looking to tokenize. And once we're able to verify those assets, that moves into verifying the custodianship. That not only do you have those, but you are the rightful owner of that. At which point, we move into the token issuance phase with the proof of trust in the trust company. Based off that, and after receiving your tokens, you can move into transactions and listing them again on 55.com, other approved partners, or doing OTC, because you'll own the tokens in your wallet and list them as you deem appropriate as that asset owner. In addition to that, every asset through Mercurity will be subject to real-time disclosures to make sure that all information about that asset and that asset token are accurate to the last trade or transaction. And finally, redemptions. So lastly, looking ahead, the Mercurity in Q1 of 2019, Mercurity 1.0 should release for the tokenization of certain assets in certain jurisdictions. This will include global custodianship, which will cover Europe, global transaction network, which is covering key countries in both Europe, Asia, and North America, a release of fiat currencies, bonds, and precious metals. In Q4 of 2019, we'll release local business and personal token modules. as well as the release of Mercurity 2.0, which will allow tokenized assets to be connected with 4 major exchanges around the world, and global compliance to cover Europe, Asia, North America, and other key countries. And then finally, moving into Q4 of 2020, we anticipate the release of artwork, real estate, and other asset tokenization models. The release of Mercurity 3.0, which will allow all activities to be implemented directly using smart contracts on-chain with global custodianship covering all major continents, global transaction covering all major continents, and global compliance covering all major continents. So I know that's a lot of information to drink in. Again, this is the asset tokenization tool that will work within the 55 ecosystem. And I think that'll bring us up to the Q&A, if anybody has any questions. Thank you.
네, 머큐리티 팀 간에 질문 있으신 분 계세요? 네.
지금 이렇게 대륙 중에서 가장 늦게 시장으로 생각하고 있는 쪽은 어디인가요? 그러니까 뭐 미국인지 아시아인지 이런 쪽은 2020년까지는 말씀을 하셨는데 아직 가장 늦게 또 가장 들어가기 힘든 대륙을 한 가지로 말씀해 주실 수 있나요?
Sure. So it really depends on market penetration and the tools that we use to market effectively. As we touched on earlier, it's very important to have a very regionalized team that understands the nuance. For instance, the culture of business in America, the language used in marketing in America would perform very poorly in a Chinese market. With that being said, emerging markets, primarily in Africa, are very hard to penetrate. There are certain areas of the Middle East that have more restrictive regulations that are a bit hard to penetrate, but perhaps not as difficult as Africa. Latin America has hotspots or hotbeds of activity as well, but again, it's somewhat difficult market to penetrate. Conversely, Asia has been, as you may be aware, very welcoming of blockchain projects with certain regulations and with certain guidance for companies that are working within blockchain, as well as Russia, the UK, and North America. I hope that answers your question.
네, 충분히 대답이 되셨나요? 네, 머큐리티에 대해서 이제 또 궁금하신 점 있으신 분 계신가요?
머르트가 MERT는 상속이나 증여도 되나요?
Is the question, is Mercurity available, the token as a gift? So the token is transferable insofar as if you want to transfer this or provide as a gift between wallets, that's something that you could actually do.
네, 또 추가적으로 질문 있으신 분 계신가요? 네. 마이크 전달 부탁드릴게요. 통역기 차고 계신 거죠? 네.
네, 커스터디언 프로세스에 대해서 조금만 내용 설명 부탁드립니다.
Sure. So the custodianship process is in greater detail going to be released in a white paper that we anticipate will be released within the month. For the purposes of this presentation, I go into the specific design of smart contracts or issuance or custodianship, but I'd be happy to talk with you in greater detail following the presentation.
네, 충분히 대답이 되셨나요? 네. 어떤 질문 갖고 계신 거죠? 마이크 전달 부탁드릴게요.
예, API를 통해서 실물 자산이랑 거래소에 뜨는 그 토큰의 잔고를 연결을 하게 될 텐데, 우리는 거래소라는 클라이언트를 통해서 숫자를 볼 수 있고, 그리고 커스터디언십을 직접 확인을 할 수는 없는데 그게 어려운데, 이걸 혹시 거래소 유저가 커스터디언십을 좀 직접 확인할 수 있는 방법이 있나요?
So within the platform itself, within 55.com, you'll be able to, you should be able to verify the authenticity and custodianship of an asset to ensure that it is authentic, retrievable, and tied inherently to the underlying asset.
네, 충분히 대답이 되신 것 같습니다. 또 다른 질문 갖고 계신 분 계신가요?